Well, it is Sunday night live. And I say that because I'm on the East Coast and it is night for my co-host out there in Southern California. It's early evening, but it's Material Issues, episode number 221. If you can believe that, do the math. That's over 4 years. I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. I'm over here in beautiful, sunny South Jersey. Joining me, as he always does for most of these episodes and vice versa, my good friend, Mr. David Bash, out in Southern California, the president of the International Pop Overthrow Music Festival, which many of you have been to and will attend in the future. Good evening, good afternoon, good early evening, whatever it may be out there, David. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Mark. How are you?
I'm not bad. Heart ablation, good. Inspire surgery, good. Kidney stones, still there.
Yeah, that's right. I feel for you, of course, having to go through that.
I'm feeling for myself too.
Speaking of feeling for yourself, what was that thing you just told me about the doctor?
There's a doctor on TikTok. I forget his name, but he's very, very popular. He's got like a bazillion followers and he goes live all the time. And they ask medical questions and he kind of gives a general answer. But he said a healthy male at any age, if you're healthy and can do it, should have at least 21 ejaculations a month. And I was left speechless for a little bit. And I typed in, never thinking he'd see my response. Did you just say 21? And he answered me live. He said, yes, 21 is very healthy to empty the boys at least 21 times a month. And I was
I think 21 is appropriate. I mean, that makes it of age. And if we're talking about ejaculation, which can lead to procreation, you certainly want it to be of age. You don't want it to be 16 a month.
Yes. But, I just, I was imagining how that might be.
I guess I'll have to tell Reno we need to cut ours by a third.
But she's here all night, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he is. He writes his own material.
Unfortunately for you, I do. Yeah, for the listeners and you.
But that was interesting. What else I see today that was also interesting? I was watching it was an older Carpenters documentary, and Richard Carpenter was still relatively young when they did the doc. And it was just interesting. I love the Carpenters, love everything that they did. And they were on the Johnny Carson show, and they were showing the full 5-song performance because they did a lot of songs that night. And then Johnny asked Richard Carpenter about. He said, "Well, you've got this album. It's a gold album. That's a million copies." And I didn't really think of it at the time, but a gold album isn't a million copies. It's like $1 million in sales, which
it was always 500,000 copies when I was growing up.
For the most part, it is. But Richard explained it as it's a million. Oh, someone popped in. I want to say hi and turn the comments on Tim Allen. Good to see you.
Hey Tim, good to see you as always. Why am I not seeing him? I have
too.
My screen up, but normally, can the comments be raised a little higher? Because now I see him when I have my normal size screen, but if I expand it, then I can't see his comment. That's really odd.
Good to see you though, Tim. But no, he said that what made their gold record was that they sold approximately 440,000 copies. And I was like, okay. But then I didn't realize that Diamond is 10 million copies.
That can't be right.
I looked on Google.
I thought Diamond was 1 million and Platinum was more than that.
Platinum was a million and Diamond is 10 million.
Oh, all right.
The album, I'm confused. The album, which is like 15 times Diamond, is Michael Jackson's Thriller at the top of the list. Yeah. So just interesting. I never thought about it.
So it's Michael in the Sky with Diamonds. Which is appropriate since he owned McCartney's material.
Right.
Even though McCartney didn't write that song. Anyway, forget it. That's a total digression and a reach at best. Let me say this about Richard Carpenter. Besides the fact that he's always struck me as the whitest man I've ever known, in those documentaries when they talk about Karen getting sick and then dying.
Terry.
Okay, good. Thank you, Terry. When they talk about that, he always came off as so clinical. Like it was just part of the career rather than, he lost a sister that he loved. And that always really bugged me, that he seemed so unfeeling, so clinical is the best word I can come up with. And yeah, I don't know. It almost seems like he didn't really emotionally care that much about it. There was more like just sort of a loss of a career, of a singing, of a partner in music. I don't know if you ever got that, but
I got and I've been in contact with him over the years with the Klaatu connection and calling occupants and trying to get an interview, and he wouldn't do it and things like that. And but yeah, he always just seemed to be, like you said, very clinical, very businesslike. And we knew something was wrong, but all of a sudden dead, and there you go. And I don't know, maybe because they were just doing it from a young age, and it was just always a business for them.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I get the sense that if it was the other way around, that she would have seemed a little sadder about the whole thing. But
indeed, and she seemed to just everybody was like her good friend Petula Clark. Everybody said, well, we knew she was losing weight, but it's like all of a sudden the heart stopped and it was it. But towards the end, she was very, very skinny to the point. And back those days, anorexia nervosa wasn't something that people really understood. And it's a sad.
In 1987, I made a really concerted effort to look better, and I lost a lot of weight. And I for the first time in my life, I laid out and got tan, and I was looking really good, I have to say. I used to walk to this bookstore that was close to my apartment, and working there was this woman who I could tell really liked me. And I'd never asked her out. I don't know why, but it never went anywhere. We would just come in and, say hi and all that. Anyway, I noticed over time that she was getting thinner and thinner. And the last time I saw her there, she really looked just absolutely emaciated. And I thought, she's got to be anorexic. Is she losing this weight because I did? Did I inspire her to? Certainly I would never have wanted her to go that far. And then the next thing I know, she wasn't there. Did she die? Did she just did she quit anyway and go on to something else? I have no idea. I don't even know if I remember. Well, I must have remembered her name because she had a nameplate. But man, it was like, I hadn't thought about that for a while, but it's like, I wonder, did she just become anorexic because she saw me losing the weight and she was never overweight really either, but then she just became, oh my God, it was awful to see. I wish I knew her better so I could have said something, but obviously I wasn't going to. I didn't feel it was my business.
Yeah. It seems, you would think in today's time, in today's age, and things that are going on with everybody, so social media and body conscious, that there would be more of this noticeable and going on, but it seems to be less. It seems to be a disease or mental issue that is not talked about much. You don't see much of it,
Well, I don't know if it's just, again, I'm just talking out of my rear end here. I don't know if it's as prevalent. Obviously, there's a lot more knowledge about it now. And with social media, there's probably a lot more support networks for people who might be headed in that direction. So I don't know if it's happening as much. I certainly hope not.
Yeah. It's hard to tell. But I see it all the time with, doing the work I do with the high school kids and things. And they're always so.
Thank God your daughters never went in that direction.
Hey, I got to make a quick comment. I just saw a good friend of mine. He gave us a thumbs up in the show. John Corey, the drummer from the Deadbeat Poets, and of course the Infidels. And the Infidels have a brand new album out, Never Forever. And
I'm still waiting. That's one of the reasons I won't be playing that today is I haven't gotten my copy. Pete told me that he was mailing it over the weekend, so hopefully within a few days I'll have it. And you say it's really good.
So. You're not familiar with the Infidels. I mean, this brand new album is killer. It's kicking. It's just so melodic and well done. I highly recommend you go out and get it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, whatever he's on, it absolutely flattened his affect to the point where he didn't have any. So.
And another thing, if everybody's just watching right now, you'll see a new QR code up in the corner. It's never been there before. That if you point your camera, your cell phone to it, that'll take you right to our YouTube page. And we'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe over on the YouTube page. We're trying to build that up a little bit more and tell your friends and whatnot. But that's the link that's easy to get to. So yeah, cool. All good.
So on another note, the regular season of baseball, Major League Baseball, has just ended. The Yankees made an incredible run to try and salvage the division. Unfortunately, the Blue Jays near the end also kept winning. So the Blue Jays win the AL East. The Yankees are the first wild card. So the Yankees will play the Red Sox starting on Tuesday. Anyway, we don't have to go too much into baseball because I know most of our listenership isn't that into it, but this kind of dovetails with some of the stuff you were talking about earlier. What we have in the American League is one of the most interesting MVP races we've had in a little while, and that would be Aaron Judge of the Yankees and Cal Raleigh of the Mariners. And they both have different things to sell. Obviously, Judge's season is astounding. Not only did he win the batting title, but he hit 53 home runs, I think, or 52, and had the highest OPS, the highest pretty much everything, including the new stat WAR. Well, it's not really new anymore, but the sabermetric stat. So he beats Raleigh in just about everything, but Raleigh has some things to sell as well. Number one, he hits. Did he hit any today? I don't know. If he didn't, he hit 60 home runs, which is one of the highest totals in history, and certainly one of the highest legitimate totals in history, assuming that today's players are legitimate. They're not shooting steroids. We don't know. Until we find out, we have to assume it. And he's doing this as a switch hitter and as a catcher. And if you think about the catching position, how much toll that takes on you, on your knees, and of course, you're much more mentally involved in the game when you catch. So it's taxing in that area as well. And he managed to hit 60 home runs, and not in the best ballpark either. It's not like Safeco's a hitter's heaven. It's not. So. So he's got that. Of course, the one negative is his batting average, which I believe ended up under 250. Now, again, batting average is not something that is highly emphasized by today's writers, and certainly not by today's statistician. I know how you feel about batting average. When you grew up, batting average was the number one considered to be the number one most important stat. And you feel that it should still be given that kind of weight. Given that, I assume that there's no way in hell that you think that Cal Raleigh should win the award.
I don't. I think he has a lot to offer, and doing it, as you said, as a switch hitter and as a catcher and in a ballpark. They're impressive things. But again, people are talking about Kyle Schwarber and his 240 batting average, and he strikes out every 3 times. But because he's has he hit 60? He
didn't hit 60, but
he's close to it, right?
In the 50s, plus all the walks that he gets. So he gets on base a lot.
If you're swinging for the fences every time and you're successful, you're only successful hitting getting a hit one side of every 4 times. I don't know. We could have gone back to 1972 and let Stargell hit 220, but swing for the fences every day and hit 70 home runs back then. Would that make him the MVP? No.
Well, it was a very different game back then. Would it have? Well, again, it would depend on what else he was doing. Judge should get it. I think Judge will get it.
Yeah.
And then you have the other issue of what does most valuable player mean? Does it mean the best player? Does it mean the one who's most valuable to your team? I mean, if let's say Judge had those stats, but the Yankees finished last, should he be the MVP anyway?
No.
I mean, how valuable can you be to a last place team? They could finish last without you, as the old joke went.
Exactly.
Now, obviously, in the case of the Yankees and Mariners, they both made the postseason. So that ends up becoming a wash on that level.
There you go, Tim. I like your
Well, Tim, here's the thing. The object of baseball is getting on base, but it's not necessarily batting average. Let me ask you this question. You got two players. One guy hits 250 and walks 110 times. The other guy hits 300 and walks 30 times. Who's getting on base more? The guy who hit 250 is.
Well, it depends
on batting average alone does not tell you how many times a guy gets on base. On base percentage does. On base percentage is a combination of batting average with walks incorporated in there.
Yeah, but
batting average is not. But I have to commend you for saying that the object of baseball of an offense is to get on base. It really is. However you get there, you get there.
And the thing is, unlike you and me, these baseball players, after the game, they can go to their local bar, and because of who they are and how much money they have, they're going to get to third base most every night at least.
I think they're going to hit home runs.
Well, I'm just saying, at least third base, right?
You know what? If we're talking about baseball players, if they're getting to third base, they're not leaving until they cross home plate.
Well, that's right. They're swinging for the fences anymore. That's just
it.
Hey, listen.
In that game, they always swung for the fences.
Hey, 9 Violets check. What a great track we played last week.
Good for them. I'm sure. I'm when I hear that happens, and I'm going to assume this is Matt, but it could be Paul, somebody from the band. When that's very gratifying to me when that happens. Yep. When we play tracks on material issues, somebody hears them, likes them, and ends up buying either not the album that the song came from, and in this case the whole catalog. Yeah. Hopefully there'll be more. That's what we want here. The reason we're playing these tracks is to give exposure to these artists,
right?
And in my opinion, they're all. Hey Matt, good to see you. Like I said, the Crowded House of Yorkshire. But the guy with 300 will play off. The other guy will. No, not necessarily, Terry. Certain guys had good look at the guys you grew up with, the guys who walked a lot. They walked a lot every year. We're not talking about home run hitters who they're trying to avoid. We're talking about guys, lots of guys. Let's look at a guy like Ricky Henderson. Do you think any pitcher in his right mind wants to walk Ricky Henderson? He's giving the guy a double if he does that. But yet Ricky Henderson walked a lot every year. You could take a lot of guys throughout your history who walked a lot. Let's take a guy like Luke Appling. He walked a lot every year. He was a light hitting shortstop. Certain guys have good eyes. Good to know. Well, already, Matt, I'm looking for the next album. So no, you stand by your statement. Well, you can, with all due respect, Terry, you can stand by it all you want, but the numbers say otherwise. The record.
I think most pitchers wanted to hit Rusty Staub. Yes.
You mean Ron Hunt?
And Ron Hunt. I think Rusty Staub.
In Ron Hunt's case, they did, because Ron Hunt, who holds the record, single season record for hit by pitches with 50, people didn't like him. He was kind of an asshole. So I think some of those were on purpose. I mean, he was not a good hitter either. So
I think he cultivated that so he would get hit. So
he did. Yeah. As he said, some people give their body to science. I gave mine to baseball. Well, anyway,
real quick before we finish the baseball, just real quick, what do you think of the new projected robo umpires, where they're going to get they're going to start using computer calls for the pitches?
Well, I'm not nearly as much as a traditionalist as you are. I think in general, I think whatever makes the calls more accurate, whatever makes the right call. No, Hunt is not in the hall, but we're not talking about Ron Hunt. Ricky Henderson is. Luke Appling is. Archie Vaughn, another shortstop who walked a lot. He is. So getting on base is the most important thing in baseball. And
Hunts
Hall. Hunts Hall, who plays Satch on the Bowery Boys, he's not in the Hall of Fame. Anyway, what do I think? I want to see it in action first. So I'm going to reserve judgment. But in general, I don't want the human element taken out of the game altogether.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't like that.
I'm on both sides of the fence, even though I'm a traditionalist. If it makes the calls better, it's okay with me. But at the same time, you love the tension between the batter and the umpire and the pitcher and the pitcher and the catcher. Everybody, like, if the calls, and anymore, the catchers would not have to try to frame the pitch because it doesn't matter where they end up with their glove. It's going to be all automatic with the ball.
And also, Terry, just as an aside, do not argue baseball with me. You will lose. Especially if we're talking about statistics and old-time players. Forget it.
Yeah, future Material Issues episode, Terry versus David.
Well, when Stump the Bash comes on, Terry, you might want to play along with that. That's something maybe you could beat me in because you're about my age and you'll remember hearing the records that we're going to be quizzed on. So definitely be ready for that later. But until then, let's dispense with the baseball talk and start talking music. There are definitely a lot of new releases, fortunately. And
would there be 21 of them a month?
Pardon?
Would there be 21 of them a month?
At least. That's what the doctor said was healthy. 21 new releases a month.
We're
talking about releases here, both ways. They're all releases. All right. Anyway.
All right. Here we go.
The first one I want to play is by an artist named Chris Lund. And this actually, this certainly has some meaning for me. He was in a band called International Pop Overthrow. And the funny thing about that was when I named the festival International Pop Overthrow, I was unaware of that band. And he was unaware of IPO for a few years. So it's kind of a surprise when we encountered each other online and we told each other about that. But he's always been very cool about it. He was there first. International Pop Overthrow. The album came out before International Pop Overthrow, the festival. I'm talking about, not the album, I mean the band, rather. They were named after Material Issue, just as I named the festival after the first album of Material Issue. So it was the same source. Anyway, after that band broke up, he formed another band with his brother, and they were called, appropriately enough, Lund Brothers. But since then, he's gone solo, and he has a brand new record here called Surveillance. And what can I say? It's power pop and real power pop. Emphasis on the power, emphasis on the pop. And let me get the tracks up here. Where are the tracks? Okay. We're going to play a track from the album, and it's called Crazy Driver. And here we are, Chris Lund on Material Issues.
Tells me every day, baby, you're making me crazy.
right, Tim. That was Crazy Driver by Chris Lund from his brand new album Surveillance here on Material Issues.
Rocks, man.
Yeah, what Tim Allen said is very true. I mean, these days, as we know, power pop cuts a much greater swath than it used to when it first was happening in the 70s. But there are certain things that are indisputably power pop. Some things some people think are, some people aren't. Don't. A song like that, Crazy Driver by Chris Lund, is unmistakably power pop. It's got the power, it's got the pop, and it's got the lyrics. He's talking about a girl who he shares things with. Is it a real girl or a fantasy? In power pop, it doesn't really matter, does it?
That's right.
So
it's probably 60-40.
Right, exactly. Or
no, it was really good. That song's that song is classic power pop. That is
classic power pop. And the whole album, I mean, there are a couple of ballads on there, but for the most part, it is up tempo and power pop-esque. Well, Chris sent me this copy. I would imagine Cool Cat has it. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at that. The greatest album in the year, according to Kerry Gibbs.
Yeah.
And yeah, you got to play it loud for sure. Anything that's unmistakably power pop, and you got to play it loud.
I remember that first album by Paul Collins, The Beat, where on the back of the album it said "Play it loud."
Yeah.
It's the first time I saw anybody demand on the back of the album that you play this thing loud, and I followed the directions.
As opposed to say it loud. I'm popping, I'm proud.
Yeah.
And there was a Stump the Bash question that I missed. So.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And then we're going to see a Stump the Bash later. And I'm scared, Mark. I'm scared. Anyway, let's hear some more power pop. And this album has been receiving rave reviews, which is not unusual for this band, as it seems like their last few always gets positive press. That would be a band. Oh, I forgot to mention Chris Lund is from Seattle. And this band is a bit north of the border, that is, in one of the greatest cities in the world, Vancouver, BC. And the name of the band is Star Collector. And their album is called Everything Must Go. It's kind of funny because they posted on Facebook about how Everything Must Go was at, you could find at Red Cat Records, which is a record store in Vancouver. Rena loves that store. She saw the post and she thought that Red Cat was closing and they were saying everything must go. She didn't read the post. I said, no, honey, don't worry. Red Cat's staying open. It's that the new Star Collector album is available there. Well, yeah, I got to see Star Collector at IPO Vancouver last month, and they were their usual excellent self, particularly live. Main guy, Vic Wayne. And again, big shout out to him, because if not for him, I don't know if IPL would have ever made it to Vancouver. He got us into our first club, the Railway Club, which is just an amazing, amazing place to do a show. Well, it used to be. Unfortunately, not anymore. It's gone through closing, reopening. It's not what it was. Let's leave it that way. And we're not there anymore anyway. Anyhow, like I said, this album's been receiving rave reviews for its also unmistakable power pop. A little bit different from Chris Lund, but certainly power pop. And here's a track from it called Mystery Dance. And let's find it. Here we go on Material Issues. Victory Dance, not musical. Sorry, Elvis. Definitely one of the softer tracks on the album, I must say, but the most melodic in my opinion, so that's why I played it. Everything Must Go, the new album by Star Collector. What is this, their 8th album, I think? Something like that. They've been around quite a while.
Any mid-tempo ballad that has hand claps in it, well, that's all right by me. I love it.
No, they're an excellent band. Long May They Rock. They're talking about they were one of the earlier bands to come to IPO Liverpool, all the way from Vancouver, and they're talking about wanting to come back next year, which would make a lot of people in Liverpool happy. Actually, they went over quite well when they. I guess they came over a couple of times, but everybody loved them. Speaking of the UK, we have a gentleman here named Ian Hornell. And some people might recognize the name. He's a sideman. He's been a sideman for ELO and 10cc. So he's quite a talented musician. But what those people may not know is he's also a great singer-songwriter. And he has a brand new album out on the Low Jinx label. That's the label that Pugwash, among other great bands, are on. And this album is called Return to the Magic Kingdom. And this is the kind of album that might be called power pop simply because by the definition that I use, if there's a mass agreement among power pop fans that this is a really good record, then by definition it becomes power pop. But it's much more polished pop rock in the vein of a band like ELO or 10cc or Supertramp.
Yeah, absolutely, Kerry. Yep, we were just talking about that last week. Yeah, so much.
The people who are saying that are curmudgeons that are lamenting the fact that their favorite bands that they loved when they were kids who are no longer around, or I should say, are no longer around. They're lamenting that, and they don't want to hear anything new. And again, it's easy to say that without going out there and doing the research. Like we were talking about last week, it's not going to be spoon-fed to you. You
got to find
we'll get you. We'll get you started with stuff like this. But I don't mean you, Kerry, specifically, but anyone out there, if they want to hear new music like this, you just have to go out and look. You got to read the blogs. Or listen, you got to read the blogs. You got to watch Material Issues. You got to go on Spotify, and when you find a band like that, when they recommend other things in the similar vein, to listen to that, you just got to do the work. But It's there. Anyway, I want to play a track from it, the opening track called Little Bit More. And I have to say, this is one of my favorite songs of the year, hands down. And this album will definitely finish in my top 10. But, it speaks to me with its that sort of polished pop rock thing. Ian Hornell from the new album, Return to the Magic Kingdom, with Little Bit More on Material Issues.
Talk to you, it's been a while. I heard you dumped him with a sense of style. And the moment that you cut him loose, you started with the constant calls and texts to the views. Whilst we love to see you, all the mutual friends, all that dirt he dished, it leaves a certain sense of embarrassment.
For me, it doesn't get any better than that. And I got to tell you, the verse reminds me of Billy Joel quite a bit. And then it goes into that pure, classic 70s pop kind of thing in the chorus with all those counterpoint vocals that continue to build with each chorus. Yeah, that's another reason, Tim. You're absolutely right.
I was hearing a little. I was trying to think of who it reminded me of right when it began. I was hearing some Merrymakers kind of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
In fact, which song? Monument of Me.
Monument of Me. Yeah, very much. Yeah, good. Back at you. Right back.
I wonder if Ian heard that track. I wonder if I should let David Meir hear that track. Maybe I shouldn't, because
I wonder if there's lawyers on listening right now.
I don't want David. No. Oh, wait a second. Something just hit me. David's on Low Jinks also.
Oh,
holy crap!
Wow, look at that! Wow.
So there's guys even spoke with. Maybe they know each other.
There's
you're totally right about that Monument of Me. Holy cow!
There's hijinks going on at Low Jinks.
Oh my God, that's good and true. Yeah, I wonder what's going on. Whatever the case, I think that song's wonderful, and the album is filled with, I wouldn't say equally wonderful to me, but a lot of great tracks.
No, I think it's a compliment because everybody knows how great the Merrymakers are. So if something kind of sounds like Merrymakers, you're in good company. So
yeah, if you like that kind of thing and you like that song, I highly recommend this album. I know that you can get Low Jinks stuff on their website. I may have gotten this one from Cool Cat. I don't remember, but I'm sure they carry it.
Yeah.
Anyway, virtually everything that I play on this show is gettable. Usually from Cool Cat. If not, then from the band's own Bandcamp, or possibly Amazon, but always gettable. I don't go around playing out of print stuff. The idea is to give it exposure, not to get people jealous and say, "Oh my God, I need that and I can't find it."
Yeah.
That's for when I show records. That's where I want to make people jealous.
When you want that response, yeah.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Right.
Good track.
Good track. So now we have another veteran of these pop wars, so to speak. His name's Coque Belda. Originally from Spain, has lived in Pittsburgh for many years, which is an interesting place for somebody from Spain to move if they're going to move to the U.S. It may have been for a job. I don't really know. But anyway, that's where he is, and he's got his brand new record. I don't really know how he wants this to be. I don't know what he wants this to be called. Maybe Coca 8. Coca 8, I suppose. I don't think it's K.
It's K.
Katka? No, I don't think so. But it's his 8th record. Let's put it that way. So he's been doing this for a while.
I don't know what that, but if anybody out there knows,
I'm sure he does. When I tag him on this, maybe he can tell us. Anyhow, it's on Rock Indiana, which is the premier Spanish pop label.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't really think of another one that consistently releases as good a selection of power pop as they do. Anyway, this track is the 7th track on the album, and it's called Starlit Dreams. Here we go with Coque Belda on Material Issues. And where is it? There it is.
Sky
story yet untold. Let me take you, let's go hand in hand between the clouds, diving through this magic, joyful, starlit land, and we will be free again. Chasing sunsets glowing bright through the shadows into light. So together we ascend. This is where our dreams begin. Let me take you, let's go hand in hand between the clouds, diving through this magic, joyful, starlit land, and we will be free again. You will guide me, hold on to my hand between the clouds, diving in. Jump to rainbow, find this starlit land, land, starlit land, starlit land. Every step we take, we shine. In this moment, you are mine. Let me take you, let's go hand in hand to the clouds, diving in. Through this magic, joyful, starlit land, and we will be free. You will guide me, hold on to my hand. Don't ever leave me again. Jump that rainbow, find the starlit lands, 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 starlit land, starlit land, starlit land.
All right, there you have it. Koke Belda, the master of the really pretty pop ballad with Starlit Dreams on Material Issues from his album. And did I get this from Cool Cat or did Jeremy Morris? Jeremy Morris from Jam Records has he's definitely got the pipeline to Rock, Indiana. So he probably sent me this. Can't wait till he plays IPO again, meaning Koke and Jeremy for that matter.
That was really good. That was a
Very
nice,
pretty.
pretty track. Yeah.
He's a huge Beatles fan, and a lot of his tracks have that sort of getting better, that cadence that the track has. He uses that a lot, but on that particular one, he didn't.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That was really good. It's really good.
I'm glad you liked it. Hopefully others did as well. Well, we've got some more for you. Now we've got an artist who has Spanish roots. I don't know if he was originally from Spain, but I know that he's been living in Australia at least most of his life, if not all of it. Gentleman named Brian Estepa, and he has a brand new album on the Pop Boomerang label, Scotty Thurling, and this label lay dormant for a while, and he decided to resurrect it a bit and put out new records by the Wellingtons, which we played a few weeks ago.
Yep.
And now this one by Brian Estepa, who has been definitely part of the pop scene for quite a while. I don't know which record this is in his catalog, but it's called I See It Now, and it's, again, he's another really great pop balladeer, but I decided to play one of the more up-tempo tracks on the album, and it's called All Right, Okay, and indeed it is, here on Material Issues.
advice, your past we're told. How she wished they could have tried a little more. Playing inside of love on repeat, like bombs in my head, like it was talking to me. Trust a heartbreak song to get me on my feet. How I wish we could have kept up with the beat. Alright, okay. It's the motion from the friction that is easy to blame. Alright, okay. What's meant to be a pause turned into years, waiting for the old to reappear. Now I wish there was somebody who was near. Understand the plan, but the ending is not clear. Alright, okay. It's the motion from the friction that is easy to blame. Alright, okay. Okay. It's the motion from the friction that is easy to blame. Alright, okay. Alright, okay. It's the motion from the friction that is easy to blame. Alright,
I call that track up tempo. It is for him. Most of his stuff is much slower, but man, I got to say that's another big favorite song of mine this year. It's just so gorgeous.
It's really well done. I like the vocal with the chorus with the all right, okay. I like the way he do it. And he's another artist who really takes. I got these earbuds and it really filled my head up with everything. The mix is really good, and the little things he's got going on in the background. It's hard if you're just on a computer speaker, but you put some headphones or earbuds in and really listen to that. It's got a lot going on. It's really, really well done. Yeah, really.
Speaking of which, I forgot to put my microphone in. Let's see if. Are you hearing me?
Go ahead.
You hearing me?
Oh, wow. What
Better?
A difference. Now you sound like Rock Hudson. Yeah.
I'm not going to go there. Let's put it that way. All right, good. I don't know why I forgot. But anyway, that song is called All Right, Okay, and it's from his album I See It Now. Brand new record. Well, CD, but they're all records. Oh, yeah, whatever happened to Michael Carpenter? Well, as far as I know, he's still producing people. Although maybe I did read recently that he closed the studio. I don't remember, but for many years after he stopped recording, he was producing. Maybe he's not doing that anymore. Yeah, I mean, Michael was and I'm sure still is one of the most talented pop songwriters from Australia. He never seemed to feel like I don't know, for whatever reason, and Michael, if you ever listen to this, I'm not disparaging you. You know I love you, but you always felt like you weren't good enough, and it's not true. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, Michael Carpenter's records are up there with so many other people's. He was great, and he was also a really great producer. Talk to Jimmy Haber, who's one of my favorite artists. With his albums like Joy Acid Pact, for example, and that great song Jane Stare at the Sun that was on an IPO compilation, one of my favorite songs of this whole millennium, in fact. And Michael Carpenter produced it. So Michael's great, and hopefully one day I bring IPO to Australia, Sydney, Melbourne, wherever. There's so many great acts over there who just can't afford to get to LA or Liverpool. And I want to bring it to them. And, maybe one day we'll see. It's very expensive, obviously, but not prohibitive.
Point, because Michael Carpenter, fantastic writer, fantastic musician. His albums were, like you said, they were right up there. And he seemed to kind of get away from that and get into more of the production side and do a lot more for other artists. And that, it just made me think of another great debut album that you didn't hear too much more from them, was like Brad Jones. Remember? Guilt Plague. What a
great. Yeah.
And then, he did a couple things with Hans from the Shazam, but he really didn't put out a whole much else after.
No, he full-time producer and I guess part-time musician for other artists.
Yeah.
I know he played on a lot of people's records as well. And he may have played live with a few people as one of their musicians. But yeah, as far as his own music, he pretty much abandoned it. I don't know if it was for similar reasons. I don't know if he didn't feel it measured up, but I think he just felt like his calling was more as a producer. And that's fine, but it's just, it would be great if we could hear something new from Brad Jones. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. All right, now I'm gonna display the only vinyl only record, and unfortunately the cover is a little bit bent here, but that's okay. The music isn't. This is The Morning Early. And it's their brand new, I believe it's a self-titled record. Yes, it is. The Morning Early are from Glasgow. And the main man of that band is a gentleman called Drew Sturgeon. And that name may sound familiar to you because he's also the lead singer of the Fast Camels. Definitely Glasgow's best psychedelic pop band. And this album is also psychedelic pop. It's a little, maybe not quite as ornate as the Fast Camels, maybe a little bit closer to the vest than the Fast Camels, but at the same time, some really, really cool pop songs on it. And we're going to play one of them for you. And it is called, if I can find it, I have to look.
In Your Heart. Truth in Your Heart.
Truth in Your Heart. That's right. From side 2 of the record, because that's all there is. Just the record. No CDs at this point. Anyway, here we go on Material Issues.
There's a road up ahead, and I can't clear out my head, but I don't know how much further I can go. The sign says carry on, and I know I don't belong, but I don't know how much further I can go. Gonna be a long road, gonna take some time, but you'll be right if you don't. Straight from the line, you keep truth in your heart, peace in your mind, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
All right, that's the Morning Early with Truth in Your Heart from their brand new record. Oops, didn't stop it.
Oh, we always have to have a reprise. That's nice.
Of course, right. That's right. At any rate, so they're going to be sort of was Oasis. Well, let me tell you what I thought about Oasis. I've always liked the band, and when my friend Lee Tannenbaum, who I went to high school with, who now lives in Florida, contacted me a few months ago and said, I'm coming out to LA to see Oasis and you're going with me. Who was I to refuse? That was very, very cool of him to get me a ticket. We went to the show. It was at the Hollywood Bowl. Not the Hollywood Bowl, the Rose Bowl, sorry. All the bowls are same to me. And actually, that's kind of true because I hadn't been to a stadium show since 1987 when I saw David Bowie at the Big A in Anaheim. And it was very overwhelming to me. Way too many people. It was too loud. Everything that that I'd forgotten about when it came to stadium shows. And for a while, I was so overwhelmed that I almost went to the lobby. But then in the middle of the set, some of Noel's songs were a little bit quieter, and the ones he sang. And once that happened, I got into the whole thing. So I enjoyed it all in all, for sure. But I don't think I'll be doing any stadium shows for a while, unless somehow it's McCartney. Otherwise, that's okay. Venue shows are just fine with me. Let me see if we can get a short answer to this, by the way. My friend Natalie Nichols, who I had lunch with today, and we'll talk a little bit more about her when we play a track later on, but she's been trying to comment and hasn't been able to do so. And I don't really know how to guide her into doing that. First, she needs to register with StreamYard if she wants to have her name on. But then, do we have to approve a comment? No. We don't? Because sometimes I've noticed I've had to go into Material Issues and approve people. Is that not for comments? Is that for something else?
That's people who ask for permission to comment just on the website.
Who want to post, not comment.
Not comment on the live. Our best bet is really to go, because if you go over to the YouTube, materialissues.com, and watch it live there and comment, it should pop up here as well.
Yeah, you should be able to comment directly on the YouTube interface, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm a Luddite with this stuff, so it's amazing that we even have a colored background.
Compared to me, you're not Steve Jobs, the other Steve.
And Jobs. Steve,
the IBM guy. What's wrong with me?
I can't think of it either. See, we're both losing our minds.
We really are. Bill Gates. Yeah.
Bill Gates.
Compared to me, you're Bill Gates when it comes to technology.
So if you're not subscribed over,
Steve Wozniak is the other Steve, the other Apple guy. Yeah.
My daughter was in a class with him because he was the visiting professor of the year at High Point when she was there. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. How cool is that? Hey, but if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, up in the top left corner is a QR code. Just point your camera there and click on it. It takes you right to the Material Issues page on YouTube. So just so you know.
So anyway, if anyone's listening and they want to comment, if you want the comment not to be anonymous, you should go to StreamYard's page to register. And then, although if you comment straight to YouTube, though, wouldn't it show your name or no?
I believe so. Yes, as long as
you may not even need to register. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I guess if you subscribe to the channel and then do blah blah blah. So hopefully that ends up working for you. But all right. So we've got two more contemporary songs, and then a couple of reissues to end things up before we do Stump the Bash. Here's a band from, it's not a one-man band. Actually, it's a three-man band from the Bay Area called the Campbell Apartment. And the album is called 510, which is in parentheses for for one particular reason, that's their area code, or one of their area codes. And the main man of this band is, you know what? I've never known how to pronounce his last name, so I'm going to call him Vi, R-E-Vi, V-A-I-S. He's the he's the main singer-songwriter, and it's another really nice record of pop rock. And here's a track from it called "In My Dreams" on Material Issues. Oops, here we go.
Singing in the water, there goes my daughter. I imagine being free from the hustle, never moving a muscle for the man, baby. Every day I'm hanging with my twins in my dreams. Here we go. I imagine playing piano every day. Nut oil paint, this is how I pray. Never open a laptop again. Making records with my friends. It's just a fantasy, but dreams come true. In my dreams, it's me and you. Corporations go from station to station. And if you join, you get 2 weeks of vacation. But if you don't, then you get your life right. Me and my girls are impossibly tight. In my dreams, we moved to Scandinavia. To my antagonistic sayonara. My girls and I never have to say goodbye. In my dreams, we learn to fly. In my dreams, we never have to say goodbye. When we're together, we're completely satisfied. So let's manifest the life that we need. 3 of us forever, just like we agreed. Bodhisattva is exactly what it seems in my dreams.
All right, so that was a nice little kind of silly ditty by the Campbell Apartment. It's called "In My Dreams," and the record's called 510. And the band also features Chris Dunn, who is from, you may remember the band from the early 2000s, Red Planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Red Planet were great. They came down from San Francisco to play IPOLA one year, and they also played it in the Bay Area once we were up there doing that, which we haven't done now for a few years, and I look forward to going back. But anyway, I believe he sent me this, but I believe, again, Cool Cat or their Bandcamp or somewhere. Like I said, everything that we play here on Material Issues is gettable. Yeah. Sometimes it may not be that cheap as something that I'm coming up. Something that's coming up will certainly fit in that category. But anyway, we have one more current album to play, and our song from an album. And this is something that's coming out soon on the label of our friends Christina and Rex. Yes, we're talking about Big Stir. And it's their Halloween project here. Chilling, thrilling hooks and haunted harmonies. And this is something that they had been working on for quite a while, and they're very proud of it, and with good reason. It's a lot of fun and some amazing tracks with some amazing bands, most of whom are on the Big Stir label, maybe all of them actually. I'm looking here right now. And there are a couple of names I don't recognize, but they've probably been signed. Of course, Big Stir for now 10 years has been showcasing, signing, and then releasing records by current acts, current pop acts. And they've been doing a great job. They worked so hard in promoting these acts, and kudos to them. We're very proud of them. We salute them for doing what they're doing. I know they work incredibly hard. And anyway, so this record's a lot of fun. In between the songs are spoken word interludes, and they're all Halloween related. So it's kind of a Halloween party in and of itself. But one of the things that Big Stir has done, besides showcasing current acts, they've actually been able to sign some classic acts. Graham Parker, which is amazing, and he's got a track on here. The Circle, of course, who the 60s act, who we remember from Red Rubber Ball and Turn Down Day. And we had Don Daneman of the Circle as our guest on Material Issues a couple of years ago, and he was fun. Yep. I mean, for an 80-year-old, he had so much energy. I mean, I was really impressed. What a great guy.
That was a great interview. And that's it
was a great interview.
The archives at materialissues.com.
Just look up Don Daneman. Yeah. But anyway, the most recent signing of that ilk is the Strawberry Alarm Clock, believe it or not. And we had George Bunnell on a few years ago. He's one of the main men of the Strawberry Alarm Clock. And they have a brand new song on this Halloween compilation called Monsters. And I think it's pretty remarkable, especially given George's lead vocal, because the guy, he's about 80 years old as well, but you would never know it from listening to this track. So here we go. The Strawberry Alarm Clock and Monsters from chilling, thrilling hooks and haunted harmonies on Big Stir. the first thought that I had when I heard this is, can that really be an 80-year-old guy singing lead there?
Amazing.
I mean, what a youthful voice.
He's sounds like he's about 26 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And also, I definitely hear shades of the old Strawberry Alarm Clock on that track, especially the song "Tomorrow" by them, which was sort of their loungy pop song. I hear a lot of the similar melodies there, but this does have. It also imbues a Halloween feel, which it should. Every track on here has kind of a Halloweeny thing going on. And let me just read the artists that are on here. It's definitely a litany of pop greats on the Big Stir label. Librarians with Hickey, Sparkle Jets UK, and Mike Simmons from Sparkle Jets co-produced this record with Rex and Christina. The Corner Laughers, who had my #1 album a few years ago. The Armoires, of course. Hungry Town. The Sponge Tones are on here. Splang, Splitsville, who were our guests a few weeks ago, Graham Parker and the Gold Tops, the Jack Rubies, Blake Jones and the Trike Shop, good friends of IPO, the Gold Needles from the UK, Rick Ramadka, of course, from Maple Mars and other bands right now, Double Knot Spies, Crossword Smiles, Steve Stokel from the Sponge Tones, Richard Orne from the Greeting, and Indeed from Sweden, Dolph Cheney, of course. Now this is a band I don't know. But I do know one of the people, Lady Dark Evil, featuring Chris Church. I don't know who Lady Dark Evil, EVYL, by the way, might be his wife. I don't know, but Chris, of course, we know. The Incurables from Detroit. Good friends of IPO, have come out to Liverpool a few times. The Strawberry Alarm Clock and the Peppers Ghost Players. I'm not sure who that is. I haven't gotten to that track yet. And again, there are all these interludes, chilling. They're all called chilling, thrilling tales. So this will be out in time for Halloween. So definitely keep checking back on the Big Stir label, or just see their posts on Facebook because they've been promoting this. What are my thoughts on Honey West? Oh, Anne Francis. Anne Francis was hot. What can I tell you? And she was a really good actress. She was on a really excellent Twilight Zone episode called The After Hours, if you remember.
Oh,
she played the mannequin. And I didn't really. I haven't. I think I've maybe seen clips of a Honey West episode, but yeah. Oh, Anne Francis, yeah, she was a doll for sure, and a great actress to boot.
I want to bring up something really quick before we get to the next track. It just dawned on me right now, but the next two nights, tomorrow night and Tuesday night, the Cocktail Slippers, all the way from Norway, are playing up at Randy Now's Man Cave for 2 nights in a row in Heightstown.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I was. I wish. I need to find something to do. Rena's going to be flying back east for a baby shower for our niece, and that'll be October 8th through 10th, I think. So, I mean, I could hang out here and take care of the cats, or I could fly somewhere. Damn, why couldn't this? See, if this was happening during that time frame, you can bet I'd be flying back there.
Yeah, they're doing 2 nights in a row. I'm trying to, I'm back in office working, so I get home a little, later. It's going to be about, with the traffic, about an hour drive up to Heightstown. But I'm thinking about going tomorrow night if I can. But yeah, 2 nights in a row at the Man Cave, the Cocktail Slippers. If you're anywhere near Heightstown, the Man Cave, make sure you get there. And I don't know, I don't know if you're much of a golf fan at all. I used to play golf growing up a lot, but the Ryder Cup just finished today, which is the big USA versus Europe. And in golf, there's decorum. When someone's going to hit, or everybody's quiet, you don't make a sound. But in the Ryder Cup, it's completely different. So,
really?
So every year it transfers. Like this year, they're playing it at Bethpage in New York, USA. Next year, it'll be somewhere in Europe. But when the European players are like getting up to hit their ball, everybody's just yakking and just You're getting on Rory McIlroy's case today. And the first time I've ever seen it on TV, he turns to the crowd and goes, "Shut the fuck up."
Wow. That's awesome.
It was really great.
Which kind of reminds me of something music related too. One time at IPO, we had an artist. I think you probably know her or know of her, Cindy Lee Berryhill.
Oh yeah,
She's from San Diego, and she had a couple of really great records out in the 90s. She one time she played IPO, and I'm trying to remember. I don't know if she had a band with her or not, but she was playing a fairly quiet song, and people were talking, and she actually said to the crowd, "Shut the fuck up! I'm playing," and they did. I thought that was great, because if there's one thing I can't stand is when an artist is on stage and everybody's talking, and which is why I try not to. If somebody's going to be solo, I try to have them open the shows for no other reason than I don't want the crowd getting hyped up by a band, especially a rock band. And then, they're talking, and then when the next artist's on, they're still like full of adrenaline and everything. And then they talk over this artist. I was so glad when she did that. And I encourage, it takes a lot of balls to do, but I encourage any artist who, if people are talking when you're playing, just tell them to shut up.
Yeah.
Because chances are they will. They're going to be so profoundly embarrassed that they were talking that, even if they don't necessarily like your music, they're still going to listen to it.
I saw Justin Curry, on a solo tour at World Cafe Live in the upstairs, which is a much smaller, little intimate, but they have a bar and whatnot. And he was starting into some track, and people at the bar were like, and he just stopped, and he was like, if I'm bothering you with my music, I'll wait till your conversation's over.
Does that embarrass him into quiet?
Oh,
probably.
They didn't say a fucking word then. They just shut the hell up. And then he was like, all right. And they started playing. Which I thought was wonderful.
No, I mean, obviously he's established and feels very confident on stage. And I realize it's a difficult thing to do, but people shouldn't be talking when you're playing, even if they came to see other people. If they're not there to see you, they need to go outside and converse there, but not while you're playing. That is just,
and that it does remind me, I got a digital copy of his new book. I'm waiting for the hard copy to come, but he has a book called The Tremolo Diaries, which is all about his struggle with Parkinson's, the diagnosis, and how he's affected. And it's a whole like tour diary of his last time he went on tour in the United States, and how songs he's played 1,000 times, all of a sudden his muscle memory was leaving him in some occasions. And I remember I took my daughter Hannah to see see Delamitri at World Cafe Live probably 2 years ago. And he forgot the words to Always the Last to Know. Huge.
Oh, wow. And
he stopped in the middle of the song. He just stopped. He said, I'm sorry, I just blanked there, and restarted the whole thing. And it's a good book, The Tremolo Diaries. I was just talking to Al Chan about it from the Rubin News the other day, and because he's a huge Delamitri fan. But if you are, check out that book. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, speaking of Rubin News, we should get Al and Tommy on the show.
Yeah,
I know John's a little bit shyer about doing that kind of stuff, but Tommy and Al, they'll talk. So we can. Yeah, I'm going to contact. I'll contact one of them, and we'll see what happens. Cool. But anyway, we got a couple of reissues to play, and then we'll get into Stump the Bash.
Oh yeah, hang out for Stump the Bash, everybody.
Stick around because I think I'm about to get stumped today. But anyway, I mentioned earlier, I had lunch with Natalie Nichols, and it was great to meet her. Back in the day, when IPO started, she was writing for the Los Angeles Times, and she wrote a really nice article on one of our shows, particularly on John Fay's performance. Now, of course, you live right near John.
Yep.
And John, a good friend of IPO's. I never really had a chance to thank her for that. Because partially when it happened, I was running around with like a chicken with my head cut off. It was the first ever IPO. I didn't know what I was doing. I was starting to have doubts about ever doing it again because so many mistakes were happening. And interesting enough, on the night of the show that she wrote about, probably the most probably the most amplified mistakes. For one thing, I scheduled too many bands on each bill. And, with 20-minute sets at that time and 10-minute changeovers, things started to run really late. And there was a band who shall remain nameless who tried to do a sound check, in the interim between sets. And, I didn't know what I was doing then. I would have put a stop to that shit immediately. But back then I was too intimidated and I let it happen. And Velvet Crush was on that bill. And while this other band was playing and making us run later and later, Rick Menck came up to me, and he wasn't, if he was angry, he didn't show it. He was more like forlorn. He was saying, are we even going to get to play? Because, there was a 2:00 curfew. And like I said, I had booked too many bands. I think they were scheduled for like 12:10 or something. And we were running an hour late or getting to that point. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I can understand. So I said to myself, we're going to have to cut this band off. And I went up and I gave one of the guys a one more, and he saw it and he ignored it. And they went they did another song, and I ran up to the sound engineer, and this was at the El Rey Theater, by the way. So it's a very big place, and we had quite a good crowd. And I started yelling. I yelled at the guy, turn him off right now in the middle. And he just said, let me just wait till the song's over and I'll do it. I said, okay, fine. And sure enough, he did. And the lead singer of that band just bolted up to the sound engineer. But I said, I said, look, you guys took way too much time. You're lucky you got the time you got to play. I'm sorry, but that's it. And fortunately, Velvet Crush did get to play. It was late, and some people probably left. In fact, I know they did because I saw the crowd had diminished a bit, but most of them stayed. And fortunately, we were able to complete the show. But that's the show that Natalie wrote about. Anyway, I had lunch with her today. It was, it was a great lunch. And like I said, I was very glad to meet her and thank her for doing that article. But in the course of the lunch, she was telling me about a documentary that has been done by a band called The Scene. And I said, wait a minute, is that the Scene that Doug Edmonds was in? And Doug Edmonds is a name you may know from Glad Hands. And now he's got a new band called D.B. Edmonds, who actually came out from North Carolina all the way to Liverpool to play IPO in May. But The Scene were part of The Scene in State Park, Pennsylvania. I think I have that right. I'm looking at the CD here. And Natalie was from back there. State College, Pennsylvania. I'm sorry.
Penn State, yeah.
Oh, where Penn State is.
Yep.
So I guess they were all students there at the time. And so she was telling me about how one of the guys, I think it was one of the band members. No, it wasn't one of the band members, but somebody associated with the Scene did a documentary, and he's looking for a place to have it screened. So I'm going to try and help make that happen. But in the meantime, that prompted me to remember that the Scene album from back in the mid 80s has just been reissued on CD. The album's called In the Rain. And I guess State College probably had a decent amount of rain. As you would know, it's not too far from you. But anyway, really good record. Has some mod touches, some power pop, all kinds of stuff. Also in the band, by the way, is Glenn Sadin, who was in a lot of other cool pop bands back in the day as well, who played IPO. But anyway, I want to play a track from The Scene, and this is for Natalie. And it's the last track on the album. It's called Under the Sun, and it's written by Doug Edmonds. And it's a really nice track. So here we go.
To the sun, take one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Under the sun, I saw you standing there laughing and
smiling under the sun. I watched you walk down the alley, right past me with your friends, and I thought I would die when you looked at me from the corner of your emerald eyes. Under the sun, I found you there with your lover, kissing each other, and then I ran so quickly, my heart was pounding, my head was pounding like a drum, and I thought that I would cry when I came to certain conclusions about you and me. It's not easy when your bubble bursts so fast, but maybe it's for the better, 'cause dreams were never really meant to last. Under the sun, I saw you standing there laughing and smiling. Under the sun, I watched you walk down the alley, right past me with your friends, and I knew that I would turn my head when you neared me, for I want to keep myself safe.
All right, that was the final track on the album. It's called Under the Sun, and I've been corrected by Natalie. The album is called Under the Sun in the Rain. I didn't see the back there, and it's also on the spine. So my bad, as the kids say. Actually, I like this Under the Sun / in the Rain. It reminds me of the Left Bank Walk Away Renee Pretty Ballerina, the way they slashed it. One of my all-time favorite albums. Anyway, Doug is still going strong with D.B. Edmonds and, of course, Glad Hands, La Di Da, one of my favorite albums ever. And that was his band in the 90s. So anyway, this can be purchased. And it's, again, some really nice pop songs on here. It can be purchased on the Scene website, and maybe Cool Cat for all I know. But yeah, Doug gave me this in Liverpool, and I believe it's out by now. So check that out. All right, final thing of the day, and then we do Stump the Bash. Here's a box set that just came out. I posted about it on Facebook. All right. This is by the band Nirvana, and by now, of course, everyone knows, no, I am not talking about the grunge band from the 90s, but rather the psychedelic Baroque pop band from the 60s from the UK, and the album is called The Show Must Go On. the complete collection, and indeed it is. It is 12 CDs featuring all their albums, and here's their albums on the back. Their stereo and mono of their debut album, The Story of Simon Sonopath. All of Us, their beautiful second album, dedicated to Marcos 3, and then some of the stuff they did in the 70s, and their 90s album, on which they actually do a version of the newer Nirvana's Lithium. And it's really good too. So obviously the two know each other, and hopefully there was no animus there. But that's a
heck of a package.
Yeah. And it also, that's what she said. Yeah. And it also features Patrick Campbell Lyons. He's one of the main guys, his solo record, and 3 discs of alternate and outtakes and things like that, plus a really, really nice hardcover book. This is on Madfish, who always does great box sets. And they're pretty pricey, but they're worth it. If you like the band and you're into just a really, really well curated, well put together box, Madfish has done some amazing ones. Anyway, my favorite track by that Nirvana is called Christopher Lucifer, and it's on that third album, To Marcos 3. And I'd like to play it here for everyone. Here we are with the better Nirvana with Christopher Lucifer on Material Issues.
It's a long, long, long time ago since we got together. And although we've tried for the best, it couldn't last forever. Now we're off to build a new home, 'cause we want to be on our own, in a place where we're free, just forever. His name was Christopher, like in the Bible, believe it or not. They called him Lucifer, because he gambled. You'll never, 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 never understand how. Such a sad, sad state of affairs when you have to make it home. But you always got to make the first step if you want to break it. We will always be in our hearts, even though we've drifted apart. There are two sides to life when you find it. His name was Christopher, like in the Bible, believe it or not. They called him Lucifer, because he gambled. You never, 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 never understand how. Now we're off to build a new home, 'cause we want to be on our own, in a place where we're free, just forever. His name was Christopher, like in the Bible, believe it or not. They called him Lucifer, because he gambled. You'll never, 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 never understand how.
You know, that when I hear that track, I think that sounds a lot like a Kurt Betcher production. I certainly could have heard the Millennium or Sagittarius do that. Also, it's kind of a Cowsills feel. The vocals are very, but you know, that's how a lot of the UK bands did things back then. There was always a lot of whimsy, and they were not shy about using children in the choruses of a lot of the songs.
Yeah.
You almost never heard that in the U.S. until Ray Stevens did it on Everything Is Beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah.
So, at any rate,
that'd be another guest on the show. I'd love to. Ray Stevens.
No, he's still around.
I think he is. That's a good question. Is he? I guess he's still alive.
I think so. Let's look him up.
I just,
well, actually, I contacted Patrick Campbell-Lyons of Nirvana to see if he'd like to be a guest, but I haven't heard back from him. We are Facebook friends.
Ray Stevens is 86 years old. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Well, maybe our good friend Jim Stafford can help with that.
Yeah, you know, they're right along same lines. I
mean, Jim Stafford was, or maybe Bergen White. Both of whom were guests on Material Issues.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, we've had some good ones, man. I'll tell you.
Well, Jim Stafford was one of the best gets you ever had, for sure. Yeah. Top couple of top 10 hits, top 20. Damn. Yeah. And what a nice guy.
Yeah, super nice guy.
He really was, yeah. And sure still is. And you know who I want to ask Jim Stafford to help us get? Lobo, his friend.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what a huge Lobo fan I am.
Yeah, very much so.
So
you were talking a little bit earlier between some of the tracks, and I just wrote it down real quick because these things hit my head. You came up actually with a very good band name. Somebody should use it, and they can use it. We're just saying it. The Nameless, and their debut album will be called We Shall Remain.
I like it. I think there have probably been bands with that name, but
I Googled it. There's a film called The Nameless. I couldn't find a band.
No bands? Wow. Yeah. Well, maybe they feel like that would be their death knell in terms of being signed or selling records. I don't know. Because I remember actually in the 70s there was a band called The Band with No Name.
Yeah.
And they had a record out and it did nothing. Now, would it have done something had they had a better name? We'll never know. But I think I don't think they were doing themselves any favors with that.
It's all good. Well, a lot of great music you played tonight. Boy, I mean, a lot of it. The Star Collector was fantastic. I really liked the Ian Hornell.
Oh my God, yeah.
Song. The Campbell
apartment.
Man, everything. Brian Estepa was great. Coque Belda. The Morning Early. Wow. I'm just looking through the list here. Everything you're playing tonight, the scene really good. Man.
I should hope so. I try. I like to think I have good taste. So
there's no good music out there. This is where you're hearing a lot of it.
Try for Rick Dees. What's funny about that, Kerry, when I lived in New York when Disco Duck came out, I had no idea that he was a big DJ in LA. I just thought he was some guy doing a stupid track.
He was a big, yeah.
No, he was a very big DJ out here, but I hadn't been here yet, so I had no idea. No one in New York had heard of him.
Oh yeah, is he still around? Is he still alive?
Probably.
I don't know. Well, anyhow.
Do you remember what the follow-up to Disco Duck was? I think we talked about this on another episode.
What was the follow-up to? I don't remember.
Discorilla.
Oh yeah! Wow, that thing didn't do anything.
I think it barely made the Hot 100.
It's sunk quickly, yeah.
So he tried that formula again, didn't work. Again, when the novelty wears off, chances are that the next one's not going to take.
Yeah,
I mean, the genre of flying saucer records, of course, those novel. You didn't want to be the same group following up with another flying saucer record, but if other groups did it with a different theme, that could work. And especially in the 70s with Convention 72 and Mr. Jaws,
I was just going to say, you remember the ones where they would use little snippets of songs?
Those are flying saucer records.
Right, and
I think because in the 50s there was some hoax about a flying saucer, and the hoax involved doing something like that. So
we made one of those when I was in 7th grade. We were in we had some class, and you had to do something as a performance piece. You had to showcase something, and a friend of mine and I made one all based on the teacher of the class. And I gotta say, we took some jabs with some of the songs we used, and I still have the cassette somewhere.
Oh wow,
I still have it.
We'll have to hear that on a future material issues.
It was poorly done, as 7th grader would do back in 1970, whatever it was, and but it still brings back great memories. It was great.
Did you get a good grade, unlike Brian Wilson, who got an F for Surf and Safari?
No, I got a great grade, and at that same year, I had a teacher who I was teaching health, and people used to turn in like these reports, like a 10-page thing you had to write on tablet paper that he didn't like, and he said, "I don't want your report handed in on toilet paper." He called it toilet paper. He wanted nice white lined paper. I wrote my entire report on toilet paper. Rolled it back up and handed in the roll of toilet paper, and I got an A for it, just for the effort of
A for the balls that you showed by doing that.
I just thought it was funny. He said, "Don't hand that in on toilet paper," and I did.
Good.
But anyhow, anybody remember this logo? It's time.
It's been a while.
Stump the Bash.
Stump the Bash. Stump the Bash. Stump the Bash.
We have not done an original Stump the Bash in quite a while, and we're going back to the original format. This is 11 years, 1965 to 1975. David randomly picks 5 of those years. We start off with a clue. He tries to get it on the first clue, which gives him 5 points, all the way down to the last clue. If he can't get it, which gives him 1 point, or 0 if he doesn't get it at all. He has to average 3 points over the 5 songs he gets. He has to get 15 points in order to not be stumped. And tonight we picked the year-end chart position for each year. It's the same position for every year. And tonight, because it's post-COVID, I didn't go too hard on David. Tonight's year-end Billboard Hot 100 chart position that he will be selecting from will be position number 39.
Okay, not too bad. It's better than 99, right?
Better than 99. It's not as good as 9.
No. I don't think we've ever had one that was... Oh, no, we did have one top 10, I think.
We had an 8, I believe. We used 8, I believe. But there's a couple here that you're going to hit it out of the park if you pick the correct years, because it's tough to get tough clues for some of these, because it's like, well, it's a gimme. There's others that I made sure the clues were a little tougher early, because by the time you get to the third clue for 3 points, you're going to knock it out of the park because it's not that difficult. But
I don't know who's still listening, but hopefully you'll play along.
Yes. Play along.
I see Tim. If Tim Allen's still there, he always plays along.
Tim always.
Although we have to do one where we text the answers in, so that if somehow I get 5 points, then he doesn't get, and he doesn't get it, then he gets 0 for that question, even though he might have gotten 4 points, but we don't know. So we have to. Anyway, all right. Well, I'm ready. I'm ready as I'll ever be.
I hold in my hand the 11 years with the questions I've already prepared. David must pick his first year.
Well, I'm not going to go with one of my wheelhouse years right away. We'll get to that though. Let's start with 1968.
1968. All right, Stump the Bash. Here goes 1968 chart position number 39. First clue for 5 points. A 1968 song written by the group's singer and Vincent Crane, Mike Finesilver, and Peter Kerr. Those are the songwriters. It was released as a single and on the band's debut album. The single became a transatlantic hit, reaching number 1 in the UK and Canada and number 2 in the United States, while hitting the top 10 markets across Europe.
Wow. Well, I've never heard of any of those other songwriters. You didn't say it was the title track to the album, did you?
No, it was just a 1968 song written by the group's singer and Vincent Crane, Mike Finesilver, and Peter Kerr.
Son of a bitch.
It was a single debut album.
Right. Okay.
And peaked at number 2 in the United States.
And also number 1 in the UK and Canada.
Carrie's going with Atomic Rooster.
I don't think so, Terry. Ha, 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 ha. And anyway, you wouldn't get the points because you have to also name the song. Okay. Well.
This is probably, you probably picked the toughest year of these 11.
Of course I did. All right. Well, the UK and Canada, I don't know if it means that the group is from either of those places.
Reached number 1 in the UK.
And you said number 2 in the US, right?
Number 2 in the United States.
Number 1 in the UK and Canada, but number 2 in the US.
Number 2 in the US and hitting the top 10 in markets across Europe. So worldwide hit.
Oh, well, shit, I don't know. I'm sure I'm wrong here, but The Horse by Cliff Nobles and Company.
It's not. Wow, what a guess that was, though. You pulled that one out of
I'm pretty sure that finished number 2, but beyond that, I don't know anything.
It is not. All right, so the five points is out the window. We're going to go to 4 points for clue number 2. It was
a big goose egg here.
It's a tough one. It was released in September of 1968 in the USA on Atlantic.
Oh, great.
Backed with the song Rest Cure.
All right, well, the song I'm thinking, wait, no, that wasn't even on Atlantic. All right, so it's a group on Atlantic. That should help me, but for some reason it isn't. Well, we know it's not Led Zeppelin. They certainly didn't have any number 2 hits in 1968, or any songs yet, for that matter. Atlantic. Oy. That should be a giveaway to some people, but it's not registering right now. First album, Atlantic. Come on, David. I need this thing to sort of snap into place in my head, and it isn't.
As I said, you picked the hard.
No, but I mean that should help, because Atlantic, obviously Atlantic, there were a lot of really good bands that had albums on that label.
Usually when you get the label, you zero in a lot closer.
Yeah. When Atlantic, of course, is a big label, but the problem right now is I'm not even thinking of any, other than Zeppelin, who I know is wrong.
Yeah.
Well, God, but I mean, I want to at least have one other band on Atlantic, and because I have a feeling the next clue is not going to give me anything.
Oh no, the next clue is going to give you plenty.
So oh, come on, why is nothing clicking in? I'm even thinking of my own collection here. Maybe the COVID's still lingering. No, I can't use excuses like that.
It's COVID fog.
If it clicked, I am very drained for whatever reason today, so that's not helping me. But that's
remember 21 times a month. So I mean,
that's true. This is only my 19th, and the month is almost over. So excuse me for a few moments.
I'll literally be right
now. Recharge. Maybe that'll help. Let's see. Oh, come on.
It's been the theme of this show.
And again, UK and so I'm thinking it's a rock band. Just because of the UK and Canada thing, but oh shit. Yeah. Come on. Just give me, in my head, just give me one band on Atlantic from back then. I mean, obviously I know a lot of them, and yet it's just not feeling it. All right, I don't know. Next.
All right. It's okay. You got to average 3. We're going on to question number 3. We'll give you 3 points. Here you go. When it came time to record the album, the band's singer wanted to record a rock opera centered around this song, which would have focused on the horrors of hell.
Oh, wait. No. I thought they were on track, but all right. Fire by the Crazy World of Arthur Brown.
3 points. 3 points. Fire.
They were on Atlantic?
Yeah, they were on Atlantic. Yep.
I thought that album was on track.
Maybe in the UK or
even on the US, but maybe I'm wrong.
It was on Atlantic. Yep.
Oh, man.
You got 3 points.
All right, I'm not too upset because I'm not a big Arthur Brown fan. I've never liked his voice. I mean, I know that song and I like it fine, but I don't. I'm not a big fan. In fact, there was an Arthur Brown box set. Oh, good for you, Tim.
Tim's all tied up right now. 3 points.
I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you. There was an Arthur Brown box set, and you know how much I love box sets, and I couldn't even bring myself to buy it. So,
hey, you're right. You're right where you have to be, though. You could have had a big goose egg to start off and really put yourself, but you're at 3. That's where you got to be. Tim's at 3 right now. It all stands. But where are you going to go for the next?
All right, we'll try a semi-wheelhouse year, 1972.
Well, 1972 for the semi-wheelhouse. Here we go. Chart position number 39, 1972. Let's see if this one gives you a 5-pointer right off the bat. Produced by George Harrison, who also plays slide guitar on the recording. The song was issued as a single and became the group's biggest hit, charting at number 4 in the United States.
Oh, this should be. Oh, it's a group.
Yep, became this group's biggest hit. George Harrison plays slide guitar on the recording, peaked at number 4 in the U.S.
How in the world do I not know that?
I thought this was right. You wouldn't even pause. It would just be boom.
Oh, my God. I bet Tim knows it. Who did George produce at that time? Well, I know he was on Gary Wright's Wonder Wheel, but obviously it's not that. 1972.
Tim's not. He's chiming in. He's pretty sure he's.
I'm sure he does. I don't know. Again, it just shows how tired I am that I'm blanking on this one. All right, let me try and concentrate. Damn, that damn Nirvana song is going through my head.
Good stuff. I'm surprised. I thought this would be a knockout in your wheelhouse year of 1972.
It's not. Wait. Well, I shouldn't. Is it Layla by Derek and the Dominoes?
It is not. It is not.
I didn't think so.
We're going to go on to a second clue for 4 points. Here we go. The record also features Leon Russell on piano. As the song was unfinished at the time, Harrison left to work on the album to produce the concert for Bangladesh. The final mix was done by Todd Rundgren.
Yeah, I know what it is now. Damn it. Day After Day by Badfinger.
4-pointer, Day After Day, Badfinger. Carrie Gibbs says COVID fog. Hey, but you got points.
I should have had 5 on that. I bet Tim did.
I don't. What is your record for the original Stump the Bash? What was it?
23, I think.
23. I think 23 out of 25. Yeah. Tim is sitting at 8 points right now. David 7. Oh, Tim.
So what? Should I play some defense and screw Tim here?
Yeah, take 1965. Oh, that was good. Day After Day Badfinger, 1972 chart position.
God, how did I not know that?
39. Yes, indeed. All right. You're at 19.
Well, whatever. I got it on. I got it on.
You're above average. You're above average. You're in good shape.
All right.
What you going to? What's the third year? Are you going to try to screw Tim to try to get the Tim victory?
Remember, there was a game show called Pay Cards, which was hosted by Art James, and the object was to get a better hand than your opponents.
Okay, yeah.
It sort of combined poker and concentration. So I think you had to remember where certain cards was. Where Milt Kamen was one of the celebrity guests. And he always, instead of trying to get the best hand, he would always try to screw other people from getting good hands. So he played defense the entire game. And I hated him for it. I was a kid, so of course nuance meant nothing to me. I wanted to see people get four of a kind.
Right.
And he would always try to prevent them from doing it. So am I going to be the Milt Kamen of Stump the Bash here?
Be the Milt Kamen tonight?
And hope to stump the Allen? All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for 1975.
Oh, the other end of the spectrum.
This will help. This is probably a good year for Tim because I think he's a little younger than me. So might even be a better year for him than me.
This is a pretty cool one. All right, 1975 chart position year end, number 39 overall. Here we go. Clue number 1 for 5 points. The song's lyrics began as a poem written by the artist's wife, Sandy Gaston. The poem itself was inspired by the awkward relationship between her first husband, James Cashmore, and his father, John, a politician who served as a Brooklyn borough president.
Oh, my God. If Tim gets this, I got to shake his hand. Well, the only clue I can...
I purposely had to make these clues a little harder on this one because it is one other clues would give it away easily.
Well, Brooklyn. So her dad.
Yeah, the song's lyric as a poem written by the artist's wife, Sandy Gaston. The poem itself was inspired by the awkward relationship between her first husband, James Cashmore, and his father, John, a politician who served as a Brooklyn borough president.
All right, so that doesn't necessarily mean that at the time she or the artist lived in Brooklyn.
No, they could live anywhere.
So what I want to know, when did Cito Gaston become a songwriter?
This is pre San Diego Padres days.
No, it's after.
Is it? Well, yeah, it would be 1975. Yeah,
1970 was the big Cito Gaston year.
Yes.
But well, he was Clarence Gaston back then. I don't know.
Clarence.
That's what his baseball card said.
Cito Gaston. Yes.
Yes, Natalie, if you're still listening, sorry for the baseball reference, but I sometimes have to go there. All right, read the clue again.
The song's lyrics began as a poem written by the artist's wife, Sandy Gaston. The poem itself was inspired by the awkward relationship between her first husband, James Cashmore, and his father, John. So an awkward relationship. The politician served as a Brooklyn borough president.
Well,
the Brooklyn borough president really has.
I think I might know this because now that that clue sinks in, and if I'm right, it probably shouldn't have even been a 5-point clue because it speaks to the whole. And I know that the artist was from New York, although more Long Island, and I believe that's where he died. If I'm right about this.
But here's
if you're
right and you get 5 points and Tim has no clue, we have no idea what.
Well, wait a minute, Tim, do you have a clue before I answer this? Because I think I do. And Dave, I may have given. See, I got to stop actually saying stuff like this because Tim might pick up on the info I'm giving.
Yeah, we're not really playing against Tim. We're just seeing how Tim is that. But what do you think it is, David?
I think it's "Cats in the Cradle" by Harry Chapin.
Tim has no clue, but David did get 5 points. "Cats in the Cradle," Harry Chapin knocked it out of the park. The game's almost over. There's 2 years to go. David's
wow.
sitting at.
Yeah, once I finally clued in on something, the awkward relationship, which of course
I tried to emphasize awkward relationship. Yes,
and yes, indeed, the subjects of Cats in the Cradle did have awkward relationship. The only time I want to hear "Wow, David" is when it's from a woman. Okay,
right. Well, you still have 20 and 20.
I haven't heard that for a while. Let me tell you.
You still have 20 and 21 to go. The month's almost over, so we might hear "Wow, David." All right, David,
so how many points do I have now?
You're sitting at 12 points. You only need 3 points to not be stumped tonight. So,
all right. Well, in that case, let's go for a challenge year. 1966.
Oh, 1966. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Now, for those of you who don't know, I mean, I'm 67. I started listening to Top 40 radio in earnest in 1970. WABC was my station. I grew up in New York. Prior to that, I would hear songs on the radio every now and then, but certainly wasn't an avid listener up to that point. So what I know now about those years is mostly stuff I learned after the fact. Yeah. So I don't have there. In other words, from before 1970, most of these songs are not part of the soundtrack of my life at all. So it makes it tougher. So let's do 1966.
All right, here we go. 1966, Billboard year-end chart position number 39. Here's 5 points to blow this episode out of the water and not be stumped. Here we go. Cashbox described this song as a plaintive, slow shuffling, blues-soaked ode about a lovesick fella who'll go to any lengths to keep his gal at his side.
Could it be, this is just a shot in the dark because I have no other guess, When a Man Loves a Woman by Percy Sledge?
It is not. It is not When a Man Loves a Woman. So 5 points out the door.
I don't think even if I concentrated a lot on that, I would have come up with anything better. So, all right.
Obviously, you're confident you're going to get 3 points in these last.
I've had years where I've gotten zeros, but if I get a 0 or anything less than 3 on this, we're going to a wheelhouse here.
All right, here we go. Clue number 2 for 4 points. Still wins the night. This song, also covered by the Rolling Stones in 1974, was written by Norman Whitfield and Edward Holland Jr. Produced by Whitfield. It peaked at number 13 on Billboard and was a number 1 hit on the Billboard R&B charts for 8 non-consecutive weeks.
Wait, so you're saying this song only peaked at 13 and yet it finished 39 for the year?
Yes.
Must have been a lot of weeks, but I think I know it now because you said in 1974, so that would have been on the album after Goat's Head Soup, Rock and Roll, is that what it was called? What was the Stones album from 74 that has Heartbreaker? And I think it has this song too. Would it be Ain't Too Proud to Beg by the Temptations?
That's also Carrie's guess. So it's 4 points. They're not stumped on tonight's episode.
Wow. After the 8-point performance I had last time.
Good job, Carrie, by the way. Yeah, good job.
Carrie, no, you can't give an answer before I do.
You didn't see it anyway. You knew what it was. It's good.
No, okay.
But right now you're sitting at 16 points. You only needed 15. You needed 15 to win the night. You can blow up over 20 if you can get a 5-pointer or a 4-pointer.
Well, yeah.
On the next,
What was the number where I only got 8 points? I can't remember.
I forget what number that was.
It wasn't number 39. It was something higher, unfortunately.
It's like 78 or 80.
Yeah. And
high.
that makes it tough. That makes it tough for 2 reasons. One, obviously, it's harder to zero in on a smaller hit, and 2, it makes it harder for you to come up with good clues.
All right, Tim's at 12, so he's 3 points from not being stumped for tonight. So we'll see how he gets there. All right.
Well, let me try for over 20. It's been a little while, so let's hit my wheelhouse year of 1970.
1970. Let's get here to 1970. The last question on tonight's Stump the Bash. Here we go. Billboard chart ending number 39 for the year. This is to hit over 20 and have a very successful night. Clue number 1 for 5 points. The song was written and produced by Brian Holland, Lamont Dozier, Edward Holland Jr., and Ron Dunbar. Because of the then still pending lawsuit against Holland Dozier Holland from their former employers, Motown, the trio credited themselves with the pseudonym Edith Wayne for this song.
Well, the John Dunbar is, I think it's helping me here. Wait, are those the ones who wrote or produced it?
Wrote it. That was written and produced by Holland Dozier Holland under the name Edith Wayne.
John Dunbar. Then I was thinking it was somebody else.
Ron Dunbar.
Ron Dunbar. I was thinking it was someone else. But I think the song I'm thinking of was probably written by the lead singer of the group I'm thinking of. But at the same time,
song was written and produced by Holland Dozier.
Right,
Holland.
I know. Well,
that's right, Gary.
I think it's one of two things that I'm thinking of right now, but I thought the lead singer of the group wrote the song I'm thinking of, but he may not have. So I'm going to go with Give Me Just a Little More Time by Chairman of the Board.
Give me just a little more. 5.
Wow, I got it.
You got it. You blew it.
I remember the John Dunbar in the songwriting. And I remember thinking, I didn't know who Edith Wayne was. I figured it was a real person. John Dunbar, I'd never heard of. I thought General Johnson, who's the lead singer of Chairman of the Board, wrote it.
Nope,
but apparently not.
And you kicked it tonight, man. 21 points. I mean, you got near your record of 23.
Wow.
That, outstanding job. Chart position 39. Back to the original Stump the Bash, and he is not stumped. Carrie, Tim's checking in. He didn't know that first clue, so he's at 12.
Well, again, Tim, you would have gotten more than 12, I'm sure.
You might have gotten
on
more.
On the ones that you didn't get when I did, you would have eventually gotten some points, I'm sure.
Well, Tim's starting a podcast next week, called Keeping Up with David Bash.
Well, let's see, Tim, just for shits and giggles, tell me which ones that you didn't get a chance to guess on because I got them too soon. And we'll have Mark read the next clues and be as honest as you can. Let me know if you think you would have gotten it on those clues. Which one? We know 1970 is one of them.
Yeah, 1970. Tim, did you
just said because you obviously didn't get it as soon as I did. Yeah. But what other years were there any that you got as soon as I did, or some where you didn't? Because again, we won't know for sure, but you can tell us what you think anyway. Well, let's try while he's giving us an answer. Yeah. Tim, let's try 1970 and read the next clue and see if Tim would have got it.
The second clue for 4 points would have been released in January 1970 on the Invictus label.
That would have given it to me.
Yep. Backed with Since the Days of Pigtails and Fairy Tales.
Yeah.
That would have been the 4.
Tim, you think Invictus would have done it? There weren't a hell of a lot of hits on Invictus at that point. There were a couple. Well, Chairman of the Board themselves had a few more later in the year, and then the 8th Day with She's Not Just Another Woman the following year.
Yeah, I don't know. Tim might have left already. He
might have left. Beating the Bash. Well.
Yeah, the third clue would have been features the lead singer as the narrator, begging a sweetheart not to rush intimacy.
That one I probably would have had a harder time with.
Just
because I don't really think, as soon as you said narrator, I would have thought a spoken word, and then it would have completely thrown me.
Yeah. Members of Motown's in-house band, the Funk Brothers, also played on all of Holland. Those are Holland's previous hits played on this recording, as well as many other Invictus Hot Wax productions. So you'd kind of have to know some of the deeper stuff there to have gotten points on that one. But yeah, now you killed it. You killed it. 21 points, man. Good job.
Yeah, But 21 plus 8 doesn't get me. So combine my last two combined, I'm still stumped. So
here's the amazing thing: 21 points.
Yeah.
What's our theme tonight?
A theme?
Yeah. What's been the running theme through this whole show? 21 ejaculations.
Oh, 21. Oh, right. Yeah.
And you got
21 ejaculations. I forgot.
Another great band name.
Now, what about for women? How many ejaculations do they need per month to be healthy?
That doc did not. He just said for men to be healthy, that's what you should have. And which I think is really funny that you got 21 points after we've been talking about this all night long.
Well, to quote Rare Earth from 1971, I just want to celebrate by making it number 22.
Although mine would be, I just want to celibate.
Yeah. Hey, believe me, I've been there.
Hey, great job, though.
Not by choice.
Fun going back.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy, and you still have a variation on Stump the Bash that you did for last week that we never got to.
We've got the I believe I forgot where I put the file. I have somewhere, but we have the Reverso back again.
Oh yeah. No, I love the variations. They're a lot of fun and sometimes even more challenging. But it was nice having an original Stump the Bash.
Yeah, indeed. And we've been going for almost 2.5 hours here. Holy cow. Rock and roll on a Sunday night.
Well, I thank everybody who stuck around, but let's talk about our upcoming guests.
Yeah, we got a lot going on here. Yeah.
All right, so coming up next week, and this is an artist who. Thank you, Kerry. This is an artist who, could have certainly been a subject of a Stump the Bash question. He and his band had two big hits in 1974. One was Billy Don't Be a Hero, which went to number 1. Again, not a huge fan of that song, but it came out in 1974. So I don't hate it. But then later on in the year, they had a smaller hit, but much better song, in my opinion, with Who Do You Think You Are?
Yeah.
Both of those songs were big hits in the UK by other bands, and that's why this band ended up doing them. The band is Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods, and we have the man himself. Bo Donaldson will be our guest on Material Issues next week. He's a really super guy, by the way. Not somebody who walks around like with his head up in the air because he had a number 1 hit. No, he's very humble. And although the band was named after him, he was not the lead singer of the band. He was mainly a trumpet player, keyboardist. But we'll talk about why the band.
Isn't that right? I mean, absolutely right. That takes me right back to like 7th grade. If I hear that song.
But, even if you were 12, if you were a boy, you did not want to tell your friends you liked that song. You would have been cruising for a bruising. Let me tell you. It was almost as bad as liking Donny Osmond or the DeFranco family or Bobby Sherman. If you were a boy, you could not tell, you couldn't tell the kids in school that you liked those songs if you wanted to make it home unscathed. I'll tell you that.
But you know what? There really was nothing like going to bed at night with my transistor radio with the mono earpiece and hearing that, you just drifted away,
No, that's true.
It's great.
I probably, I probably, if I heard it again, I'd probably have fonder feelings about it. And Bo was nice enough, actually, to make CDRs of the band's 3 albums. He sent them to me a few days ago. They have not been reissued on CD. I'm kind of surprised at that, even though, those aren't albums that people really care about as far as collecting goes. But we've had enough stuff that nobody cares about come out on CD. So why not those? But so far, no.
The Bo Donaldson and the Haywood box set.
Yeah, just the only thing that came out was a best of on Varese Sarabande. But not the proper, very similar to the Hudson Brothers. Yeah. Their 3 early 70s albums have also not come out on CD, and they had a best of on Varese Sarabande around the same time. Yeah. Anyway, so that's who we have on the 5th. On the 12th, we currently don't have a guest, but we will be recording. We're going to do our first ever recorded material issues with an artist who lives in the UK. So the time that he would be on, which would be, 1 a.m.? There you go, Tim. Good for you. You can admit that around us. You're in a safe space now.
This is a safe space.
Yeah. Anyway, people always talk about, and I have a feeling we're going to air this on the 12th, so I'll talk about it now. But, people talk about Badfinger. We just mentioned them. We just had them on as a Stump the Bash question. But people always talk about Badfinger and lament the fact that every member of the band is dead. Well, not so. One of the members is very much alive, and he is mainly responsible for the new issue of a previously unreleased Badfinger album called Head First.
Great.
And it's a really good record also. And in large part due to the efforts of the man who will be our recorded guest. I believe I'm going to say on October 12th, but if not, it'll be a later date. But we're going to record the episode earlier in the day, and then we'll do a material issues either with no guest or with another guest, or the recorded episode. But Bob Jackson of Badfinger, and then also of the Dodgers fame. Do any of you guys remember the Dodgers record?
Yes. Yeah.
They had an album called Love on the Rebound, which has some really amazing pop songs. Has a few kind of foreigner-styled rockers on it, but also has some great pop songs. And the band the Dodgers prior to that had singles on Island Records that are as power pop as you can get. And Bob Jackson is the main guy in that band. So we're going to have Bob Jackson as a recorded guest. Oh, you did? All right, cool. Yeah, it just came out both on vinyl and CD. I mean, I'm not going to say it's one of Badfinger's best records, but Badfinger's such a great band that even if you're their worst record, you're still good. It's not their worst record.
Classic, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be great to have Bob Jackson on as a guest.
It's awesome.
On the 19th, even though this guy is a really good friend of mine, you know more about what he did. So,
I really don't know that much more what he did, but he had, again, here we go. What's the show pre-Oddville, the vaudeville? I forget the title of it. So he had
he's listening. He's gonna kill us.
I keep doing this. Well, I know Oddville. I didn't know the vaudeville. And we will bone up on all this, but hold on a second. I gotta get this right.
Why am I forgetting too?
Hold on, because I didn't really. Beyond Vaudeville. Beyond Vaudeville was the show produced, which was a kitsch, weird, conglomerate of all kinds of different weird guests and things type thing on MTV, and then he went on to produce the MTV show for a year called Oddville, which was kind of like a late night interview, David Letterman type thing, but with really quirky, weird guests.
I wish I had seen it, but I was unaware completely.
So good. And the host of the show, I forget his name. I'll have to bone up with that too. Guy, black rim glasses, dirty haircut, always wore a tie. And Melissa, who was the female counterpart of the show, I had such a crush on her, but it was odd. It was just it was like Fernwood Tonight, but with really, really stranger guests. Remember Fernwood Tonight with Martin Mull and
I never actually saw it, but I'm aware of it.
Well, anyhow, Steve Korn, he's the guy who produced a lot of this stuff, and it's going to be fascinating to talk to him about the weirdness that was on MTV. And the things that he did with these productions. I think it's going to be really cool.
Yes, it will. And Steve will definitely be a good guest. He has lots of stories. He also worked on the reboot of You Bet Your Life.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was out a couple of years ago, not starring Groucho Marx.
But yeah, he's got a lot of things he's been doing. He sent me a long list of things going on now. So it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm really interested in some of the earlier days of MTV, especially Beyond Vaudeville and then Oddville, how some of those shows came about. And Oddville, every episode had really good bands on it, which he's got a YouTube channel with virtually every episode. I mean, Delamitri was on Oddville before they were really anything, and
I need to watch at least one of these apparently.
Yeah, they're he's got all on his YouTube channel, and we'll cover all that when we're talking with him. But a lot of great bands played that show too. Really neat get. I'm very interested.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it as well. This will be an aspect of Steve that I'm unfamiliar with. He comes to a lot of IPO shows, and he and I go record shopping together.
Oh, wow.
But we really haven't talked much about his career in TV land. So this should be fun.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
On October 26th, of course, most of our listeners know about the band The Lemon Twigs. They are probably the premier young pop band. They made a lot of headway in this business, about as much as a pop band can make these days.
Yeah.
Obviously, if they had been around 30 years ago, they'd have been signed by a major label, would have probably had some big hits, but that was not to be. But they're still they do appear on a lot of late night television. They and certainly in the power pop world, they're so well thought of. But most people concentrate on the D'Addario brothers, the two main guys who write the songs. But the band has a bass player as well, and his name is Danny Ayala, and he just put out a new record called Only Fools Love Again. And he's also a very young guy, and this record is a really good pop record, kind of reminding me a little bit of maybe Phil Ajarapu, if you remember his stuff, or well, even if you don't, it reminds me of him. Haha. But anyway, it's a really nice record. He's going to send me a copy. I don't have it yet, but Fernando, our good friend Fernando Perdomo, put us together.
Wow, cool.
So yeah, another really young guy who loves this kind of music, and it'll be great to have somebody on there and get his perspective.
Yeah.
On the stuff that's happening now, the stuff that came before him, what pop music means to him, all of that. And hopefully there'll be a lot more young people where he came from. But thanks to Fernando very much for putting us together. And on October 26th, we will have Danny Ayala, and we'll certainly play tracks from the album.
Very cool.
Let's see what else we got. Well, the next few weeks after that, we currently don't have any guests. I'm sure that'll change.
Yeah. Second and the 9th we're open. You're up in IPO New York on the 9th.
Yeah, I'm at, and so we may keep that one open, or maybe we'll even try to do something live from the park side. I know we tried in LA and it didn't work too great, but we could try again. And then on November 16th, well, November 17th for our guest, because he lives in Australia. So it'll be the next day for him. But
going to get all the winning lottery numbers from him because he's
that's right. The main man of a really great pop band called Ice Cream Hands, whose album The Good China from 2007 finished #1 for me that year. They have a brand new record coming out right around that time. And so I really wanted to get the main guy on as a guest. And we will indeed have him. Charles Jenkins of Ice Cream Hands. And I haven't heard the new record yet, but everything that he's done is gold to me. So I have no doubt that this one will be as well. So we're looking forward to that on November 16th/17th. So we'll see what happens on the 2nd.
Yeah.
if somehow we get a guest on October 12th, we'll probably table the Bob Jackson interview until the 2nd.
Yeah, and put it up
If
there.
not, we'll air it on the 12th. It'll be our first time airing a recorded episode.
Yeah, we're doing that because of the time difference of where he lives.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea. I mean, you know, we want to get more UK guests, and it's going to be very difficult to do at 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, we probably should do some more and there are a lot of great UK guests we could have. So
yeah,
we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes over, and hopefully it does. And maybe there'll be more where that came from. Well, anyway, 2 hours, 37 minutes of material issues today. I want to thank everybody for sticking around with us. I know it was grueling, but hopefully you had a good time.
Yes, and don't forget, up in the corner, that's a QR code. Click on it. If you haven't gone over to materialissues.com and subscribed on YouTube, just do that. It's just hitting a button. Doesn't cost you anything. And all the archives.
Don't cost nothing.
221 episodes after this one ends, all on materialissues.com. Just go to the live tab. There you see them all. Got a lot of great stuff that you check out if you haven't seen it before. But a lot of stuff coming up. We'll see everybody next Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m.
Sunday night with Bo Donaldson. That should be fun. He'll have stories.
So we're just telling you, don't be heroes, everybody. Just join us. Material Issues.
And if you don't show up, I'm going to have to say, who do you think you are?
David, love to Rena.
Love to Ches and Audie, and good health. Good luck with the kidney stones.
It's all gonna work itself out somehow.
As Beagle would say, everything will work out in the end.
That's right.
So everyone have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Sunday. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.